finals, one of the most electrifying stages in rugby league, might already be tilted in favour of one team before a single ball has even been kicked. That's right. Ricky Stuart, never one to bite his tongue, has just called out what he believes is an unfair advantage for the Brisbane Broncos, and his claims have shaken up the rugby league world. Could the finals be decided by more than just talent on the field? Stay tuned, because this story is loaded with controversy, passion, and explosive drama you won't want to miss. Before we break it all down, make sure you smash that subscribe button and join us here at Aussie NRL Updates, the place where rugby league fans stay ahead of the game. Don't miss a single twist of finals footy, because as you're about to hear, this year's competition could be one of the most controversial in recent memory. The regular season is done. The dust has settled. And the finals, 8 teams, for brutal weeks, one ultimate prize, are officially locked in. Every club is sharpening their strategies, every coach is drilling their players, and every fan is on edge. But while most of the competition is focused on the games ahead, Ricky Stuart has turned his attention to something else entirely. And this something else might just expose one of the biggest debates rugby league has faced in years: do the Brisbane Broncos have a built-in advantage that no other team can match? The Canberra Raiders coach, never shy of a microphone or a headline, has taken aim at the NRL for what he believes is favouritism toward the Broncos. His frustration stems from a detail that many casual fans might overlook, but insiders know it can be decisive. Home ground advantage. According to Stuart, the Broncos are benefiting from a system that allows them to play their finals matches at Suncorp Stadium in Brisbane, a fortress where they've built their reputation and dominated teams all season. For Stuart, this isn't just unfair. It's downright damaging to the integrity of the finals. But why is Stuart making noise now? Why is this such a big deal? And does he actually have a point? To understand Stuart's anger, you have to understand just how powerful Suncorp Stadium is for the Broncos. It's not just a venue. It's a fortress. The Broncos play in front of massive crowds, often 40,000 to 50,000 strong, with fans who create an intimidating, deafening atmosphere that can rattle even the most composed visiting side. It's not just the noise. It's the familiarity. The Broncos train there, they know every blade of grass, and their playing style is tailored to the wide, fast track. In the NRL, where margins are often razor-thin, this kind of advantage can be the difference between survival and elimination. Stuart's point? Other teams don't get that same luxury. The NRL has long claimed it strives for fairness when it comes to finals scheduling. But let's be honest, some venues aren't neutral at all. When Sydney teams play each other at Accor Stadium, the NRL sells it as neutral territory. But when the Broncos play at Suncorp, it's anything but neutral. Ricky Stuart is essentially asking, why should one team get the benefit of a guaranteed home fortress in the finals, when others are forced to adapt? He's not just throwing shade at Brisbane, he's challenging the very structure of the NRL finals system. This isn't the first time Ricky Stuart has gone head-to-head with the league's administration. The man is famous for his fiery press conferences, brutal honesty, and unwillingness to play nice with NRL officials. He's copped fines, suspensions, and headlines. But here's the kicker: Stuart often says out loud what other coaches are whispering in private. He becomes the lightning rod for frustrations many others feel but don't dare to voice. So, when Stuart comes out swinging against the Broncos' advantage, you have to wonder, how many other coaches quietly agree with him? Of course, from the Broncos' side, the argument is simple. They earned it. Brisbane finished high enough on the ladder to secure the right to play finals footy at home. Why should they be punished for their success? Isn't that the whole point of finishing strong during the regular season? Broncos fans will tell you, every team has the chance to secure home finals by performing across 27 brutal rounds. Brisbane did the job. Others didn't. Simple as that. But Stuart isn't just talking about earning rewards. He's talking about systemic imbalance. Because for teams outside Brisbane, their home ground finals often don't carry the same weight, or worse, they're stripped away entirely for logistical reasons. As Stuart's comments made headlines, the fanbase split right down the middle. Broncos fans defended their team to the hilt. Rival supporters, especially those from Sydney and Canberra, accused the NRL of bending the rules to favour Brisbane. Social media lit up with debate. If you finish higher, you deserve it. Ricky's just salty. No way should finals be decided by geography. Neutral venues are the only fair option. Imagine if the Raiders got to play every final at GIO Stadium. Everyone would call it an unfair advantage. Why is Brisbane any different? This wasn't just a minor gripe. Stuart had reignited a nationwide conversation about fairness, money, and the future of the NRL finals format. And here's where things get even more complicated: money. Suncorp Stadium finals aren't just good for the Broncos, they're good for the NRL's bottom line. Big crowds, massive ticket sales, corporate dollars, and TV ratings all soar when Brisbane hosts finals matches. From the league's perspective, it makes perfect business sense. But here's the tension: what's best for the business isn't always best for the fairness of the competition. And Ricky Stuart knows it. By calling this out, he's putting the spotlight on a question the NRL has long tried to avoid: are the finals about money, or about a fair contest? The finals are locked in, but the debate is only just heating up. Will Stuart's comments pressure the NRL to rethink its policy? Could other coaches join the chorus? Or will the league double down, backing the Broncos and the money machine that Suncorp provides? And here's the twist: Stuart's Raiders are heading into the finals as underdogs. If they cross paths with Brisbane, his comments will add a layer of psychological warfare unlike anything we've seen before. Imagine this: the Raiders storm into Suncorp, Stuart's words echoing through the stadium, and an upset bruise. Suddenly, the NRL has a full-blown crisis on its hands. But that's just the beginning. Because the bigger question is, if the finals can't guarantee fairness, what does that mean for the credibility of the competition? Stick with us here at Aussie NRL Updates, because in Part 2, we'll dive even deeper: the historical context of home ground controversies, past finals that were shaped, or even decided, by unfair venue choices, and the explosive scenarios that could play out in this year's finals. And trust me, you won't believe some of the stories from NRL history we've uncovered. In Part 1, we peeled back the layers of Ricky Stuart's explosive claim that the Brisbane Broncos are gifted an unfair advantage in the NRL finals through their fortress at Suncorp Stadium. But here's the thing: this isn't the first time finals football has been clouded by controversy. And if history is anything to go by, Stuart's outrage could be just the tip of the iceberg. So buckle up, because in this half, we're diving into the history, the heartbreak, and the high-stakes drama of finals footy, where the venue mattered as much as the players on the field. And we'll finish with a bold question: is it time to completely overhaul the NRL finals system? Ricky Stuart isn't the first coach to cry foul. Over the decades, venue controversies have been a recurring thorn in the side of the NRL. Let's rewind. 1990s Sydney dominance. Back when most finals were played in Sydney, non-Sydney teams felt they never had a fair shot. The Broncos, ironically, were once on the other side of the argument, complaining that they had to travel south while Sydney teams enjoyed neutral grounds that were anything but neutral. 2004 Bulldogs vs Cowboys. The Cowboys earned the right to host a finals match, but instead of playing in Townsville, the NRL moved it to Sydney for logistical reasons. Cowboys fans were furious, arguing that their team was robbed of the advantage they had worked all season to secure. 2015 Cowboys vs Broncos Grand Final, held at ANZ Stadium in Sydney. This all-Queensland blockbuster highlighted another imbalance. Broncos fans travelled en masse, but Cowboys fans had to make a 2,000-kilometre trip. Neutral? Hardly. Time and time again, the NRL's attempts to juggle fairness, money, and logistics have ended with one side crying foul. Stuart's complaint is simply the latest chapter in a saga that never seems to go away. But let's break this down further. Why does home advantage matter so much? Is it really worth all the noise Stuart is making? Science says yes. Studies in sports psychology show that home teams win more often than not just because of familiarity, but because of crowd influence on referees, player confidence, and momentum swings. At Suncorp, this effect is magnified. Visiting teams often talk about feeling swallowed by the atmosphere. Referees, whether consciously or not, can be swayed by the roar of 50,000 fans. And players, who are only human, feel the pressure of every mistake magnified. For Stuart, this isn't just about geography. It's about psychology. The Broncos, he argues, are being handed a mental and emotional edge that goes beyond the scoreboard. Of course, skeptics will say Stuart's complaints are self-serving. His Raiders are entering the finals as underdogs, likely to face an uphill battle against higher-ranked opponents. By planting the seed now, is he trying to deflect pressure from his players? Is he creating a ready-made excuse in case the Raiders fall short? That's the beauty of Ricky Stuart. You never quite know whether he's speaking from the heart, firing a shot to protect his team, or playing mind games with the competition. Often, it's all three at once. But one thing's certain, when Stuart talks, the rugby league world listens. And his words have already set the stage for a potential powder keg clash with the Broncos. Picture it. Week 2 of the finals. The Raiders scrape through their first game and now face the Broncos at Suncorp. The headlines write themselves, Stuart's underdogs face the fortress. Every tackle, every call from the referee, every roar from the crowd will be viewed through the lens of Stuart's earlier accusations. If the Broncos win comfortably, critics will say the venue did half the work. If the Raiders cause an upset, it becomes a fairy tale. David slaying Goliath in the lion's den. This isn't just rugby league. This is theatre. High drama. And Stuart knows it. So, what can the NRL do? On one hand, Brisbane finals deliver monster crowds and massive revenue. On the other hand, the league risks credibility if fans and coaches feel the playing field isn't level. Some suggestions being floated include truly neutral venues, finals played at stadiums that don't give either side a natural advantage. Easier said than done, since neutral often just means Sydney. Earned home advantage only, top-ranked teams should host, no exceptions. That means Townsville, Canberra, even Auckland if needed. Logistical headaches, yes, but fairer. Grand final rotations, some have argued the grand final itself should rotate between Sydney, Brisbane, Melbourne, and even New Zealand. Radical, but maybe necessary for equality. The NRL has dodged this bullet for years. But Stuart's comments, combined with the spotlight of the finals, could force their hand. Let's not forget the most important group here, the fans. They're the ones filling the stadiums, buying the tickets, and driving the ratings. And fans are not stupid. They know when the competition feels skewed. If enough supporters begin to feel the finals are unfairly tilted, the NRL could face a backlash. Empty seats. Social media storms. Questions about legitimacy. And in a league where perception is everything, that could be devastating. Here's the real kicker, though. What if Ricky Stuart's bold stance actually backfires? Imagine his Raiders walking into Suncorp, carrying the weight of his complaints. If they lose badly, critics will say he was making excuses all along. Worse, his players might feel extra pressure, knowing the coach has publicly highlighted the difficulty of their task. Stuart's gamble is risky. He's thrown the first punch in the psychological battle. But whether it lands, or whether it blows up in his face, remains to be seen. At its heart, this isn't just about Ricky Stuart, the Broncos, or even the Raiders. It's about what kind of competition the NRL wants to be. Is it a league where money and crowd size dictate decisions? Or is it a league where fairness and integrity take priority, even at the cost of revenue? That tension, between business and sport, between entertainment and competition, isn't unique to rugby league. But right now, in this final series, it's front and center. And the outcome could shape the NRL for years to come. So, as the finals kick off, here's what we know: Ricky Stuart has thrown down the gauntlet. The Broncos are marching into the finals with a weight of expectation, a fortress behind them, and a target on their backs. The Raiders are lurking, armed with Stuart's fighting spirit and a nothing-to-lose mentality. The NRL is caught in the middle, balancing money, fairness, and image in a high-stakes juggling act. And the fans? They're ready for fireworks. This finals series isn't just about who wins the trophy. It's about whether the NRL can prove that its competition is truly fair, or whether the cries of bias will overshadow the glory on the field. And that's why you cannot miss a second of what's about to unfold. Will Ricky Stuart's bold stand expose the cracks in the NRL's final system? Or will the Broncos prove that fortress or no fortress, they're simply too good? Stick with us here at Aussie NRL Updates, your go-to home for explosive rugby league stories, deep dives, and finals drama you won't find anywhere else. Hit that subscribe button.